I'm Hannah, and my group was assigned Iowa State's campus architecture, and I'm going to be focusing more specifically on the heart of campus, in this case, the Iowa State University Library. The university was originally called the Iowa Agricultural College and Model Farm, but is now known as Iowa State University to us. Okay, Iowa State is known for its beautiful campus, and it's received many awards, like the 1999 medallion from the American Society of Landscape Architects. It's pretty much a 19-acre campus, and this is what the library looked like originally. Before it gained its name of the Parks Library, it was just known as the Iowa State University Library. And it really represents like student life in one location because it's very central, but it also shows like the historical change and how the university has grown and adapted structurally to meet the bigger scaled campus. So like I said, the library is just very central by location, therefore it attracts a lot of people. You can find students there pretty much any time of the day, any day of the week, and it just has the ability to house like meetings and clubs, and it has tons of resource materials in it. It's known as a research library because it's so useful for students. The library underwent 3 renovations. The first one happened in 1961, and it was the most minor renovation. It just added stack space and reading rooms on the north and west ends. And it really showed, both the first and second renovation really showed Iowa State's step in the right direction for adapting to a larger campus. The second renovation actually happened in 1969 and added multi-tier stack space, and it also expanded to the north and west. It mainly just added on to the first renovation. So again, it hadn't reached anything externally, but it was just internally, equipping all the needs of the students. The third renovation, however, was the most extensive renovation, and it actually expanded the original building by 4 times the size, and it happened in 1983. And as Lauren said, it really showed a different style of architecture that was embraced on the original building, more of a brutalistic neoclassical style, but not quite what the original building was. This is the remaining structure of the original building you can still see on the library today. And even a student who isn't into architecture, just came to the campus this year, can clearly see the contrasting architecture styles that are within one building. And this is more the true neoclassical style with the curved windows and the shade of brick. The library actually didn't gain its name that we know of it today, the Parks Library, until the third renovation, and that's because the plans and the ideas were really spearheaded by the 11th president of of Iowa State, and that was Mr. Parks and his wife Ellen Parks. So it was officially named after them in '83. So the Parks definitely didn't shy away from the modern style, and as you can see here, it's mainly made up of windows, and it really embraces that neoclassical, but it really makes it look more modern and just way more simplified. So it's very drastically different from the original style of building. Another part of this third renovation was this front lawn area, and it's now a free speech zone, and it just acts as one more way that the library is really this central growth area for students. You can congregate there in large groups, you can hear people speaking about whatever, and it's really just one more way to attract students to the building. It was a little bit controversial at first how drastically different the styles were, yet they were all within the same building, and people argued that it was really taking away from the original structure. But the Parks did this on purpose, and it was kind of a way to represent that Iowa State was ready to take on the modern changes of the university, both architecturally and within the student body. And you can see inside, you can even see the renovation, because it's almost like a double-layered entrance. The outer modern windows are encasing the original neoclassical style building, and it's very functional still. Another cool thing about the library is on the first floor, there's a lot of well-known art that the campus houses, and it really unifies it with the rest of campus and how much campus incorporates art and architecture into one. This is a mural painted by the Iowa native Grant Wood, and so it's located on the first floor, really easy to find within the library. This is the Old Woman in Prayer on the right, and then the Girl statue by Christian Peterson. Again, you can find Christian Peterson's work on many other locations on campus. So it acts as another way of unifying it, but also the documented artwork within the library like really, yeah, honors the original building and its importance, but also recognizes the necessity for the library to renovate and meet the needs of a campus that's the size it is today. Questions?
I think you did a really good job, like, keeping your head forward and not looking back at the screen, and you had really good inflection in the voice, too.
Yeah, what Lauren said, you never looked back once. Really nicely timed. I don't know what the jump was between that first and second slide where you, I
I
don't.
don't know, I feel like it didn't change ever. And then Carly was like, it changed. And I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. But other than that, it was incredibly smooth. You had exactly laid out where you wanted it. And I like that you included the, I think that's 13, the shot of, you were saying the double wall. That's
Yeah,
my
thought
favorite
that
thing
was-
about the library.
Yeah, that was so interesting. It's literally
Yeah.
like you're entering like a force field and then the library.
Yeah, like they just literally just cemented it on it. So.
Yeah, having been, since I'm old enough to have actually been on campus when they did this renovation, it was immensely controversial. I mean, people were screaming, you know, no, don't do this, don't do this. But that feeling of walking in and finding the old building was really amazing after it reopened. It's just like, you know, like you stepped into a dream world or something because it was still there.
I really like your choice of pictures. They were very, very expressive, and really kind of told the story just in the pictures. And you know, it's completely separate from your commentary. It told the story also, so it was nice having that.
Yeah, I kind of struggled at first because I wanted to like maintain a similar feel throughout the whole thing. So I thought maybe only doing black and white. So you can tell like my first five slides were only black and white. But then I was like, actually I really want to show like the development and growth, and that also takes place in like black and white photos to color photos. So I was like, maybe this could help like illustrate the timeline as well. So thank you.
But look, you know, when you look at these in the slide sort of view and the slides together, it's a great way to get an overall impression of how much color or grayscale or whatever is affecting your presentation. And you don't have anything jarring here. It's not like you're suddenly jumping into a neon piece of clip art or something. You know, it works. There are gentle shifts there into the color in the black and white. Other questions and comments?
I like how you kind of laid out like a foundation of what we're going to talk about in the first few slides, and kind of how it was first known as, I think you said it, like I would say it was first known as college of agriculture or something, to kind of, I guess, set up what you were going to talk about exactly.
Anyone else?
To add on what I said earlier, I really like that you had the presentation on just one building, but it never seemed like you had to repeat anything, I guess. There wasn't any point where it was so similar to anything else. It's like, okay, you already said that. You had something new on each slide, even just keeping it about the one building, and I thought that was really nicely done. So.
Yeah, the library really has a rich history. It's an amazing building in itself. And I think the thing about it that's most amazing is that it's gone from the days when everything was looking at a piece of paper into a digital lifestyle in which, you know, students could still use it, the same structure, and be comfortable moving back and forth between the things that had to be in paper and the things that are totally digitized. And that's a big stretch, because the library remains Parks Library remains one of the most popular buildings on campus for students. Students who love to go in there and just use that as a study place, etc. So, good presentation.